and the smallest shall lead us. The biggest existential threat to Donald Trump and DOGE and Elon Musk may be the smallest agency, taking it on with a new temporary restraining order filing and lawsuit by the United States African Development Foundation and its executive director, Ward Brehm, taking on and showing from the inside how Elon Musk and DOGE and his operatives, having gained access to financial information through the Bureau of Financial Service and the Treasury Department, shut down funding to this entity created by Congress that's led by a board that can only be confirmed by Congress, to shutter it, shut it down, reduce it to, as the DOGE personnel told the U.S. African Development Foundation personnel on the site when they broke in, we're going to reduce you to your statutory minimum. We're there to modernize your architecture. No, we're here to dismantle you. It was all DOGE. They have the receipts in the lawsuit. They have the names of the people, the timeline, and how they went about it. And when finally they literally put up barricades to stop DOGE and the U.S. government from shutting them down illegally and unconstitutionally, Donald Trump had to use the U.S. Marshals, which I'm sure were ordered by Elon Musk and DOGE, to break in and shut down the foundation, a foundation, again, established by Congress to give humanitarian loans to the developing African world. I'm Michael Popok. You're on Legal AF. This may be the case that busts it wide open for judges who have been struggling to get to the bottom of the relationship between DOGE, Elon Musk, the various departments and agencies, the orders of the executive branch to dismantle and defund, the Office of Personnel Management. It's all there out in the open with a lawsuit that's been filed in front of Judge Richard Leon, senior status judge in the District of Columbia, appointed by George W. Bush. He has already decided that this is so important and so serious that he has issued an administrative stay until tomorrow. He's going to be holding a temporary restraining order hearing tomorrow at 2 o'clock in his chambers or in his courtroom to get to the bottom of it. Let me read to you. Well, let me tell you what the allegations are. Then I'll read to you from the actual complaint that was just filed. The allegations are that this is a violation of the Appointments Clause. This is unconstitutional. This is a board that was created and a foundation created by Congress that requires Senate confirmation of the board members after presidential appointment. There is no provision for removal of the board for the appointment of interim acting by the president, which he's tried to do by naming Peter Morocco to be the acting head of this organization without Senate confirmation. There's no ability to do that. There's no requirements to do that, and it's all unconstitutional and illegal. And they name names of DOGE personnel who are responsible for this. So here's how it starts. On February 21st, the complaint alleges, Trump issued an executive order describing this USADF, this foundation, as unnecessary. Within days, defendants, including DOGE and the newly appointed acting administrator for DOGE, Amy Gleason, welcome back from your trip to Mexico. You're now the head of DOGE. First, DOGE gained access to the agency under the false pretenses of, quote, modernizing and streamlining USADF's computer systems. When USADF learned that DOGE was there to kill the agency, staff refused DOGE access to cancel all grants and contracts. DOGE employees began threatening members of the board, telling them that unless they carried out DOGE's plan, this is Elon Musk, to strip USADF to its core, the board would be fired. When that didn't work, USDF was told that President Trump did not need to follow the required process for advice and consent of the Senate, and he instead appointed Peter Morocco as the sole board member, despite there already being 4 other board members who were duly appointed and confirmed. Yesterday, Wednesday, March 5th, this is on paragraph 4 of the complaint, DOGE staff in Morocco attempted to access USADF's offices with federal marshals. Plaintiff Brehm has told them that he was the president of USADF, and he instructed staff to not allow defendants access as they had no legal authority. Undeterred, Morocco and DOGE threatened a security guard with a lawsuit and told the building's property manager they would bring in U.S. Marshals and the Secret Service unless they were given access. Their threats were unsuccessful. Paragraph 5, defendants have made clear their intentions to ignore statutory requirements, pretend that leadership of the agency does not exist, and shutter USADF. Let me move on to page 11 about the facts. DOGE attempts to shut down U.S. ADF. On February 20th, the day after the executive order was issued, Chris Young, here's the receipts time, a representative of the U.S. DOGE service, met with members of the U.S. ADF leadership team. At the meeting, Young described the intent of the U.S. DOGE service that 2 engineers from the GSA would be detailed to the foundation to provide software expertise to modernize the architecture, systems, and improve government efficiency. Doesn't that sound Orwellian and false? That evening, Young submitted 2 memorandum of understanding for a detailed assignment between GSA and US ADF for Ethan Chotran and Nate Kavanaugh, which similarly described the scope of these individual details. The next day, paragraph 41, Chotran and Kavanaugh, accompanied by Jake Altick, a lawyer from the US DOGE service, arrived at the US ADF. During this meeting, the parties signed the MOUs. The US DOGE service, again under false pretenses. The U.S. DOGE service team then proceeded to describe their purpose, after the agreements were signed, for arriving was to reduce the functions of the foundation to the minimum presence and function required under their reading of the African Development Foundation Act, which in their view required only that the foundation retain its board and president and that the agency maintain only 1 or 2 grants funded by private sector partnerships. In other words, shrink this foundation down so it could be drowned in the bathtub. The U.S. DOGE service representatives demanded immediate access to the U.S. ADF systems, including its financial records, payments, and human resource systems. And it continues. They then threatened a board member, told him that he had to do their bidding or he would be fired immediately. And then DOGE tries to shut down the IAF, which is a sister organization. This is on page 15, paragraph 52, the Inter-American Foundation, using the exact same techniques and the exact same people. And they did that. DOGE did it, as alleged on page 17, as an unlawful and rapid overreach, which they have done. This is why I think this particular case and the allegations of the use of the payment systems, the Treasury Department systems, the Office, the Federal Services, the Financial Services Bureau information that DOGE got to uncheck the box to stop the funding, then breaking in, arguing they're just doing efficiency architecture, then trying to shut down the organization. And this is all DOGE. Sure, Amy Gleason, the acting executive administrator for DOGE, has been sued, but this is all about Elon Musk. And this is one of a dozen cases involving Elon Musk, but this may be the one where Judge Leon, senior status judge, may have to get to the bottom, will have to get to the bottom of what DOGE did, what's DOGE's authority, how does it violate the appointments clause of the Article 2 of the Constitution, because none of this is being done by Senate-confirmed people. Now, they're going to try to hide Musk and DOGE and all of its conduct, to sweep it under the rug of executive privilege. Donald Trump's going to try to argue at the appropriate time. He can't testify, Your Honor. Executive privilege, the Department of Justice is going to say. He's an executive. He's a special advisor. I need advisors. He can't reveal our directions. But they've gone beyond advice and counsel. They're going into execution and execution of agencies and putting them out of their misery and our misery. Or causing our misery by putting them out of existence, I guess is a better way to put it. So the lawsuit says that all these acts are ultra vires. They're outside the Constitution and statutory authority. They're a violation of the separation of powers. Congress created it, had a mandate that there be presidential appointment, but Senate confirmation, that's all been violated. Violation of the Administrative Procedures Act, asking for a writ of mandamus to reopen that office, get it funded properly, and get DOGE and Elon Musk out of the government. Here's what they're actually asking for that the judge is going to consider for the first time tomorrow at the hearing. They've asked that the judge enter a preliminary and permanent injunction ordering the plaintiff, Ward Brem, not be removed by the president as the president of the United States African Development Foundation. Enter a preliminary and permanent injunction that Peter Morocco cannot be appointed or any other members can be appointed to the board of the United States African Development Foundation. They also want attorney's fees and costs, put the board back together again, and the rest. This was brought by a relatively new law firm, public interest law firm called Democracy Forward Foundation. who've all joined together and band together to file lawsuits like this, which we continue to cover. This is the one of the many that may lead to what we all want. Elon Musk being forcibly removed and run out of a rail of government. And if they're going to do things, and they want to shut down agencies, they want to shut down foundations, they want to hollow out our revered institutions created by Congress to help the American people, to help our humanitarian aid and our diplomacy around the world, they're going to have to do it the right way, through Congress. See, even Donald Trump doesn't trust Congress, so he's been trying to do it by executive order in Elon Musk. But those aren't the proper tools to do what he wants to do. It has to be accountable, has to be transparent, has to go through a confirmation process so the American people have a seat at that table. We're going to have a seat at tomorrow's hearings table. I'm going to bring it back to you right here on Legal AF, the YouTube channel. Take a minute, hit the subscribe button, continue to follow all that we do related to Legal AF at the intersection of law and politics here on the Legal AF YouTube channel and on our brother channel, the Midas Touch YouTube channel as well, where I do my work there, along with Legal AF, the podcast every Wednesday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So until my next reporting, I'm Michael Popok. I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.